Welcome back to Dabbling Dads with your host Kyle and Tyler. Here to dabble into just about anything. You can find us everywhere using the hashtag Dabbling Dads. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed.
What's up, man?
Not much, dude. Here we sit again in the furnace.
Yes, it is hot.
Pretty warm, but we're gonna do it.
I was watching Needs, but I'm used to the hot, man. I just came back from vacation.
Yeah. Took a week off. Welcome home.
Yes, and I'm glad we're dabbling. I don't know what is it. Tuesday night?
Today is Monday night.
Monday night. Perfect. So yeah, man,
Yep.
I'm back from vacation. It was a good time. We went to Florida. Emily's family's from there. So we're all brown. I have my afro mullet.
Mason's very brown.
Mason is dark, man.
Yeah.
He stayed in the water the whole time. Like, the waves were actually pretty decent. You could boogie board. Normally there you can't, but they were like 3-foot waves. You could boogie board them.
It looked like Corbin was crushing the skimboard too.
Yeah, the skimboard, it was like bringing back old memories of myself out there. I busted hard a few times. My left ass, bam, my hand still cut open from like a shell. But where we were, man, it like was perfect skimboarding though, because it was like where the waves came up, but then as the tide went out and the day went on, there would be like an hour or two right there where it was a pool.
Yeah.
So it was
you
just
fly across it.
Yeah, so you could get lots of practice.
It's been a long time since I've done it. It looked fun. I saw the pictures. It was good. Mason said it was fun. He obviously was at wrestling tonight.
He loves staying out in the ocean. Liam likes to build stuff in the sand. They're all different. Lake was perfect, man. He would run down to the water. The waves would hit him. I mean, he
Turn around, waddle back.
Waddle back. Sometimes he would stand there. It was a good time. But in Florida, so when we get down there were two crazy things. People who listen to this from Florida don't think it's crazy. I guess maybe they do think it's crazy. They just have to live it every day.
Yeah.
So the first thing that happens is we're traveling. My card works fine in Atlanta, Georgia. I make it from Nashville to Atlanta in 4.5 hours.
It's pretty good.
No traffic, no nothing. So then I get gas there, perfect. I finally get into Florida. I put my card in, doesn't work. Or see cashier, Emily's like, told you should have called the bank. It's like, fuck. Every time she's right on this. And I'm like, they should understand.
You should always
I'm
do that,
putting my PIN in.
Yeah, if it's a debit card, you should be able to do it.
Yes. I'm not running a credit. What is going on?
I mean, at least you know it's secure. No one's going to get too far with your card. I mean, that's something. At least you know that. If someone takes it, they're only going to get about one use out of it if it's out of sight.
Yeah. So they call me. The card company calls me.
Yeah.
And when they call me, you know, it takes you through, like, make sure you're who you are. You have to, like, select your social security number out of these 4 numbers. Like, you got to be knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they call me. I get the cards reactivated. At this point in time, I already went inside because I was worried what was going on. So I was already inside. And I was like, man, just give me $30 because I was going to try to use the card inside, punt the number, whatever.
Yeah.
But I got on the phone with the people. They cleared it up. So then I'm driving around. So then we don't need gas almost all week. We go to the gas station, get gas, put my card in. We've been going to a restaurant every single night. Put my card in, see cashier.
Oh, God.
Like, what? So I sit out there for 5 or 10 minutes probably waiting for them to call me. Because I'm like, what the fuck? No call. I go inside. I prepay. The guy says, all of Florida is prepay. And I was like, what? So my card really might not have never messed up. It was just Florida, you have to prepay now.
They want you on camera. They want a close-up of your... Or they want you... What you think?
He said, too many people drive off.
Will it let you pump before you put your...
I was using a debit card and I said, see, cashier. I had to go prepay with a debit card.
Surely to God, gas pumps are still not set up where you can start pumping gas before money is either put into that machine or inside. Can that still happen? That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Sounds like you have to turn it on from inside and it must open up a charge. I don't know.
I don't understand how people are driving off without paying. You should not be able to pump gas until you have put your card in and put your info in. What are we talking about here?
I was unbelievable. He said, people drive off. I said, so I have to come prepay even with a card, a debit card. I was punching my debit card in, see cashier, all of Florida, prepay. So then I'm thinking in my head, well, I don't want to go inside. So because you also had to have a mask. We luckily bought a box of masks, and we thought it was 12 and under didn't have to have masks. But we went into Publix, and everybody had masks. That was the first time, like, Corbin, Liam, Mason have all wore masks inside. Had to. A guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, y'all gotta have masks." Later saw him talking Spanish to a Spanish family, taking him to the store to get masks. Have to have them on.
Awesome. I'm scrolling through movies. I saw Contagion on there, and it I can't remember if it was on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. Contagion. Have you ever seen that? The movie Contagion. Don't watch it now. It used to be like a thriller. Now it's a horror film.
I made Emily watch the one. Y'all know me. I remember just close enough. It's the Dustin Hoffman one that I watched. Outbreak.
Yeah.
With Denzel Washington. No, that's not. Who is that?
Samuel L's in that, I think. Maybe not. Look it up.
It's
Outbreak.
not Denzel Washington.
Not Denzel for
it's
sure.
It's Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Probably.
Has freckles.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Jesus. Or God, whatever you want to call him.
In the movie with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Bruce Almighty.
I love that movie.
My favorite role, we're way off. We're going to come back to where we were.
Yeah.
But my favorite, while we're talking about Morgan Freeman, my favorite all-time movie, Morgan Freeman, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, with Kevin Costner.
That's like the old school Robin Hood. It reminds me of also old Kevin Costner movies, which you probably can name right now, the two in my head.
The Postman.
Yeah, that was the oldest one in Waterworld. Yes. Yeah. Bang, bang, yes, on fire.
I love those movies. I know we both love those movies.
They're incredible.
Yeah. Anyways, so they all wore masks. Anyways, the movie Contagion popped up on Netflix. So it has like the poster on the left, and then it has like a scene from the movie up top. First scene, everyone in there with a mask on. It's like, won't be watching that. Next. Like.
You have to wear a mask at your work or you're by yourself?
Yeah.
The whole time.
I mean, no. When I'm on my forklift, I don't have to.
You know, when you can have social distancing, you don't have your mask on.
Correct.
See, this brings me back to the gas station shit. It's like, I don't want to go inside. I feel much more comfortable outside.
Yeah, me too. It dies in the sunlight.
Yeah, so like I feel like those buttons outside are fine. Like I don't have to go in when I'm using a card.
No, they've been leaving all the bay doors open. In the building we're in right now, there's like 12 people in there, so it's pretty big. Only 12 of us. My dad is the other person in there with me right now, so it's like I've been around him anyways. I'm not worried about him. I say we stay away from the other people. I hit that hand sanitizer thing so much. I'm probably hurting myself more than I'm helping myself as much as I'm using it. But
we stayed in a hotel. I like just doing an overview this vacation because I'm going to remember all this, and I love now that we're in here talking about it, and I know we're going to get into our niche in a minute, but like we can come back at this time. Like my time I went to Florida, never seen it before on a hotel door. It had a sticky on the door, Lysol clean. You like broke the seal when you came in your room. And they gave you a letter at the beginning. It was like, we do not clean the room during the duration of your stay. If you want to like move rooms during days to have things clean, that's how they're doing it at this hotel we were at.
Crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy. I saw a picture from a concert.
But the pool was open and the workout facility was open.
Makes no sense. I'm telling you, bro, this shit's so ass backwards. I saw a concert and it was at a baseball field. I don't know where. I wish I would have seen where it was a country.
I saw
artist.
a concert one time at a baseball
field. But this one was so spread out. It's like, if that's what concerts look like now, I'll keep watching them on YouTube. Like, I have no need to even go sit out in that. That does not even look fun. What we need is a DeLorean.
One we don't need, but one last thing about the mask.
Go Back in the Future real quick.
I did want to bring this up. It was actually on my things. Is I saw some different face masks down there, not being worn, but for sale. But if you could have like a custom face mask, like you have to wear a mask. That is what is going on. If you're not in your car or with your immediate family, I guess if you're outside, 6 foot of distance, and you don't have to have it. But other than that, you have to have a mask on.
Yeah.
What is your dream mask?
Well, I've ordered a mask.
Oh, easy order one.
It's a gator, man. And what?
A gator?
No. Gaiter. For those of you that want to know.
Has Cannon come up to you yet and gave you a chomp?
No, that one never happened.
I tried to get him to the other day because he started singing Rocky Top in my car.
Yeah, I thank God he did. Anyways, the thing is, I ordered one of those like neck. It's called a gator.
Oh, and you can wear it down.
But what I saw, like Disney World, they're not counting that as an actual.
They're open now.
They're not. You can't wear a gator though. They're not. Even though they sell them, that's not a viable. It's not a. I didn't buy a Disney one, but I bought one that looks like Darth Vader when you pull it up on your face.
Darth Vader.
Really? Let me pull it up on my phone. Show it to you.
Yeah.
Anyways.
A Bane one?
I have a question because me and Erica have like 5 days to decide if we're going to go to the beach. So
5 days. When is the
part of our decision is though that Erica broke her foot. So I'll go ahead and say that. Now that we're talking about vacation, I'll talk about that.
That's fine.
So 2 dabbles ago,
we're on Dabble 10 now.
I think Dabble 8 though. We were in here and we did it during the day.
Dabble 8 was Batman.
So it was 7. Has Erica's foot been broke that long?
Maybe so. 6 weeks. She was probably
So-
about to come out of the boot, but she's gonna. That's not.
So my wife Erica, it was one of our dabbles we recorded out here one day, and my wife was here working.
Yeah,
right?
Cannon made an appearance.
Cannon came out here and brought this out here, the Hulk, in-game Hulk, and later that day, he had a doctor's appointment anyways. He has jacked up ears, so Erica was taking him to the doctor. I think that's what it was. He was going to the doctor for some reason. I don't remember. Regardless, Erica's cleaning up the living room where we sort of let the boys trash the living room while we were recording our podcast.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man.
They're
Daddy
responsible, though.
daycare.
You saw he needed something. He came right to the door. We are responsible.
He was on the podcast. You can make one.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't remember what number it was, but that exact same day that he brought this guy out here and we showed it on camera, my wife stepped on this guy's foot while cleaning up a mess and fractured her fifth
Metatarpal, I guess.
metatarsal.
Yeah.
Broke her outside bone here. I wish I had a picture. I may get Erica to send you the picture, and you can pop up a picture of her broke foot right here.
Yeah.
But it's it looks like a
Broken foot.
Taylor, our buddy Taylor Wood. If you have a Twitch, go follow him. Taylor on all lowercase letters TAYLOR. Go follow him. He was in town, but when he saw the picture, he's like, looks like a freaking cow stepped on it because the way her outside of her foot like bowed out. I mean, it was obviously broken. Within an hour, you knew it was broken.
Avenger
But it was
Hulk.
crazy that Cannon brought this guy out here that day while we were recording, and then this exact toy broke her foot later that afternoon.
Yeah, now it's like the sand. Like, have y'all researched it? It sounds like it could be viable. It was hard walking in the sand.
Well, do you think I could get some sort of like sand wheelchair I could rent while I was there and just push her out wherever we're going and have her chill, and then I'll just have to corral the boys the whole time?
Dude, corralling the boys, boy. You better hope Casey. Just put Cannon's puddle jumper on.
We may just not go. I don't know. It's not looking promising, but we gotta make a decision quick. Anyways,
Is just y'all going, you and Erica and the two boys?
yeah, we asked Dean Beth, but Dean, he don't want to go down to Florida. He's
Is it
worried
going to
about
be
Florida.
somewhere with a pool?
Yeah.
This could just be a pool scenario.
I
and do
love the
beach
pool.
every
You
now
already
and
know that. I'm a pool guy when I go to the beach.
I know.
Everybody's like, why you go to the beach, sit at the pool? It's like, 'cause I like the atmosphere and like what it feels like there, but I would rather be by the pool
Let's
by that
tweet it
cold,
right
clean
now.
water. What are you tweeting?
I'm going to tweet it right now.
Alright.
At Dabbling Dads, we're going to tweet the poll when you go on vacation to the beach.
Do you hang out on the beach or by the pool? Is that the question?
Yeah, is
okay.
that how I should word it?
Yeah, I would. I'd say where do you hang, and then have the two options:
Where do you hang?
beach, on the beach, or poolside. Would be my two options. I prefer the pool, man. Like you get in, the water's always freezing cold. The beach, I just always feel sticky and got sand on me and sticky salt water on me. It makes me sound like a little bitch, I know, but like I enjoyed getting in the water as a kid and whatnot. I just don't care to get in the water. There ain't nothing that's gonna bite me, sting me, none of that shit in that pool up there. And I'm still at the beach. I'll go hang out in the sand for a little bit, but I'm not getting in the water down there. And once I get hot, I like going up
Why
to the
don't
pool.
you like getting in the water?
Because I hate just feeling grimy out there, dude, in the heat. It feels terrible. I don't know. The water y'all are at looked beautiful. I would get
You
way
can
out
see
in
right in it, dude.
I would get way out in that water.
Dude, 30 foot where the waves are breaking and you're bobbing, it's still, you can see the bottom, you can reach down.
That's what I'm
Pick up
saying.
sand dollars.
I
This
would-
woman caught a sand dollar this big.
That's awesome. I would get in
was
it there because it was
incredible.
crystal. The water where you are at was like crystal blue, so that's different. I mean, I've had plenty of pictures of me growing up. When we went to the beach back when I first started dating, we had only been dating for 6 months maybe. I went to the beach with them. And me and Drew went way out there one time. He was scared. We also got on a kayak or a canoe of some sort. I guess it was a kayak, huge kayak. Just me and him went way out. Bunch of idiots. Anyways.
Sorry, dude. I'm trying to...
So you just kept up with podcasts while you were there? What did you do to entertain yourself? Just chase the kids? Do you have any excess entertainment other than just hanging out at the beach?
We played putt-putt. That was a freaking experience, man. You know, Daddy
all of
won.
them?
I won. Last year, Emily beat me. We corral late the whole time. He runs around, grabbed the pin from the last hole. He was hamming. The boys did all right. You know, Mason's conniving. Corbin's serious. Liam's getting lucky good. I mean, you know, it's just how it is with them.
That's awesome.
And, sorry, dude. I was
Did it
in the
tweet
middle of
out?
that message. No, yeah, I was trying to get that tweet
okay.
out and like
No, you're good.
to like just to be honest, we have like a group of people like I've befriended on there, and it's like they support each other
on Twitter.
Podcast on
yeah,
Twitter.
Dude, they've really helped our Twitter following has grown big time because of that.
Yeah, and I don't want to misspeak on any of them, but yeah, I just wanted to tell them like please share if you want or vote, and we'll see. We'll come back to the pool versus the beach.
Yeah,
maybe,
next time.
Maybe you'll know some stuff that you need to know for your decision making.
Yeah.
But as far as entertaining myself, man, I did keep up with podcasts. I made Emily listen to like Joe Rogan, and she was like digging it some of the time. But I listened to most of Joe Rogan on the way there. I saved Armchair Expert with Monica Padman and Dax and all them for on the way back. And it was so weird. We just talked about breathing last time, so it's like some science stuff. But you finally have been listening to stuff, so I do want to talk about movies. Like I think I said that last episode too. It's like I want to talk about some of this science stuff, but right now I want to talk about movies and catching up.
Yeah,
and we got some new stuff.
I've been. Yeah, we did. My dad brought me a box of things. So we got the Vader helmet here.
And if you don't know his dad, he did the Dabble 8, the Batman episode.
Yeah.
So he has like collectible things.
He's got. We showed his Batman collection, but he's got some crazy. He's got a bunch of different knickknacks down there. It's pretty cool. But he gave me a few things like our old games. We got the Jordan vs. Bird game, which was sickening if you didn't play that for Sega Genesis. EA Sports game. What else did we got here? The Shaq, which I wore I forgot that he was even out here, but I put on so hot out here. I put on the Shaq jersey, but he gave me that from our childhood, which my brother will say that was his, but he's got my Kobe little car I got back when he was number 8, when he was a rookie, that I still have. Ron has that at his house. He has a Jordan and a Kobe one, and this was Ron's actually, but he's got my Kobe, so I claim that as mine now.
What was this again?
That was just a Shaq thing. But we were Shaq fans as kids. We've had that thing for a long time. That was in my dad's basement. That's from our childhood. Got Earthworm Jim from our childhood video game.
I remember playing the Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun game. He had the gun. Yeah, it was a fun game.
Yeah, but
we only played it a couple times, honestly. I only played it a couple times.
What system was that? Was that like Xbox regular?
Sega Genesis was the first one, I think. Probably Super Nintendo also, maybe. You have to look that up to be correct.
What was it again? Slim Jim?
What?
Who's this again?
Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim. I definitely remember playing. It was a hard game. There was a newer one that came out for Xbox or a remake of it or something. It was pretty hard.
Probably. But yeah, we got Thanos.
So Shaq, that's why I have that Shaq Pog thing
which
that
is
you really
sickening.
like. I didn't just give it to you. You have a much more.
Well, dude.
Of
So we've also. I wish I had a picture up real quick. I'd post it up. We have a little drawing. We're gonna try and build a little mini set here, foldable, of course, Erica. That I'm not gonna keep here in the garage, but. But you know, we want to at least still have a poster in the middle, and then some stuff that's more Tyler's, you know, niche stuff behind him, and then sort of my stuff behind him. So yeah, we'll be able to mix and match stuff, and you got cool stuff. My dad's got cool stuff. I've got some cool stuff. It'll be in the making. We'll see how it goes.
Let's just keep it going. We enjoy this, so just we get just the likes and know that you watch it. That's it.
Yeah. Anyways,
like you said right here, I hope.
Yeah. But anyways, I started listening.
Game Boy Color 1999 was one of the games.
Yeah,
1994.
94 on Sega.
Sega Drive 1994.
Mm-hmm. So one of our buildings at my work, like we had 5 buildings. Well, when the tornado came through Nashville, it destroyed 3 of the 5. And they rented out of that building that I went and worked at right after the storm. Well, now they have me back over there because COVID ran through there. So it's like, oh, yay, good me. Great, go throw me in the freaking... Which they got a lady in there that is literally... Her entire job is to walk circles around that place and clean the places people are touching constantly.
That's all she does?
Yeah. Little Hispanic lady. She walks around all day and cleans. That's all she does. So if she wasn't in there doing it, like when they first sent me over there and I got there and there was no one there and I started asking like, wow, where's everyone? Who am I supposed to answer to over here? They're like, dude, all those people got sent home for 2 weeks. Because one of them had it. So they sent them all home. They were around there. So I've been over there for 2 weeks now and I've been able to start listening to podcasts again. Well, I was just scrolling Apple because I had sort of just reached my, I don't want to say limit with Joe Rogan, but like I just needed to listen to something else. Yeah. And as I was scrolling, I found,
just practice for talking, seeing
just
perspective.
Listening, and I got to what's great about the government and everyone else spying on us is that they give you great recommendations. Like they know what you like. I'm glad that's the good part.
That is a computer doing that.
I know it's a computer, but that data can be accessed by a lot of people.
That data is important. It's kind of like what we talked about the one time about
Yeah.
Bill Gates. I said he bought the 23andMe, so he has all that database, all that.
I know it's
genetics.
important. Trust me. That's what I'm saying. The good part of them watching this is that sometimes they do suggest great things, which is where I found the Darth Vader data. As it popped up on my Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know what I would want. I want to think about it.
I'll send you some cool ones. Ever since I've ordered that, I've been getting some cool shit popping up on shit. Also, you know how it goes. Deep state shit. They want.
I just created my special Twitter just for that, so I don't have to, so it doesn't start creeping into the dabbling.
Oh,
dads.
incredible. Perfect. So I've started listening to the Rewatchables, and I should have written down the guy, the main host.
Bill
and I looked it
Simmons.
up. Bill Simmons.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
so
remembered it. Yes.
I have it over here. Bill Simmons, Sean Fennessy, and Chris Ryan. Are they the ones that?
Yeah, they're like the main ones, but there's been Quentin Tarantino's been on there, Spike Lee's been on there, like different people have been on there for different movies.
Yeah.
You can sort of read through the list. I'm gonna these are the ones I've watched watched. I say watch because most of the time I watch podcasts. I've been listening to these. Luckily, there was a Bluetooth speaker on top of one of the forklifts where I work, and I was literally the only guy there. And now they sent my dad over with me to help me because we know our boss. He sort of hooked us up, but
Perfect.
someone left a Bluetooth speaker on top of one of the things, and the charger's over by the desk, so I just freaking been charging that thing every day when I leave, putting it on top of my forklift and playing a podcast makes the day go by so fast. You listen to an hour and 25-minute podcast, most of the time I'm like wanting more, and then I realize like, dang, that was an hour and 25 minutes just went by. That was quick. But I've listened to Vision Quest. I don't know if you know what Vision Quest is. Wrestling. It's like the wrestling movie. Matthew Modine plays a wrestler in the 80s.
The only wrestling movie
Madonna
I know
is in the movie. Very
Steve
young.
Carell's a guy.
Foxcatcher. That's like a depressing movie. I wouldn't consider that a wrestling movie. It's like a drama that's based around
I like
some
those
wrestlers.
kind of movies.
It is a good movie. I like Foxcatcher. It's one of the saddest stories of all time. But the Vision Quest I listened to, which
Kyle's finally watched Doubt as well.
I've got it written down, man. You gotta let me get there, pal. I'm just kidding.
That's because that was a drama. We can go there later. If you have it written down, we'll come back there. But
Yeah,
Vision Quest
literally
I've
have
never
it written
seen.
down. So Vision Quest you've never seen. I listened to the Ferris Bueller's Day Off one. So I'll break it down sort of how they do it. They usually start off and they talk about who plays who are the main characters, what's the plot, what was going on at the time the movie came out in their lives, because they're older guys. Like I think one of the guys is my age, but they talk about like where they were at, did they see it in theaters, break down the movie. Then they have categories. They're like, all right, let's get to categories. So they say what's the most rewatchable scene. And a lot of the time they say like 3 or 4 scenes, because it's these great movies. These movies I read here in a minute, you're gonna be like, God, how do you pick one scene out of those? Because they all have multiple epic scenes in them. So then they do like who won the movie, whose movie was this apex mountain? Like which actor in this movie was this this was their career. This movie was the best movie they ever did, and they never went.
So do they
anywhere
like
else
compare
afterwards.
them to other movies that they've
Sometimes.
acted in, or are they just saying how they're acting in the movie?
This
like, what do
movie,
they-
like who won the movie, who was the best, who won the movie. Like let's take a movie you know for well, the movie Hook. Who won that movie? When you think the movie Hook, other than, I mean, of course you think Peter Pan.
Julia Roberts.
You think her playing Tinkerbell stole that movie?
No.
I think Rufio would be the character I would choose.
I did not think she stole it when you say it that way. I just was thinking of a big
Rufio
name
would be the character I would choose for who stole it, and also I would also make that his apex mountain. Like that was the best thing he ever did, and he was a kid. But so then they do that. They do. They have a lot of different categories. You should go listen to it. It's pretty good. But I've listened to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Castaway, which made me go back and watch Castaway on HBO. Like,
You watched Castaway? Okay,
Yes.
so all I can remember Castaway is like Wilson. He's there by himself.
You must
He
watch
has
it. It is.
His
It is.
tooth. It's like
After listening to this, it made me watch it completely differently.
Was it
Because
incredible?
yeah, very good. So one thing I noticed about Castaway is the movie Castaway is 2 words. Cast away. It's not castaway. It's cast away. 2 words. And I never realized that. And when you listen to it, there's a lot of parallels about that. Like Tom Hanks is a castaway. That one package he keeps the entire time is sort of cast away. Then he gets saved, goes home. His wife is remarried and has a child and is like married to a dentist and whatnot. Gets cast away again. Goes back to the lady's house that's at the beginning, whose package it is to return to her. And one thing I didn't notice is when at the beginning, I noticed it this time because they talked about it, but when she first pulls up, I don't know if you remember, but the package had like the big wings on it. Then he ended up painting the big wings on his cell he made, and then he goes back and returns the package.
Yes.
Well, at their ranch, they had that big metal sign that has the big wings, and at first it says like Dick and Bernita, whatever, Farms or whatever. Well, when he goes back, it doesn't say Dick anymore. It's only her name. So she's single also. So really the whole story is not so much about him getting saved, but him finding the person that he was meant to be with from the beginning. And that FedEx package.
I thought that's what it meant the whole time.
Dude, I didn't as a kid watching that. Like, I never, I'm telling you, it's deeper movie than I thought it was. I've watched it with a different...
You know what, now that I'm thinking, when you were saying you get cast away, I haven't fished in a long time, so I fished down there with you and Dean just for a minute. I didn't catch no fucking fish. Yeah. But you cast it out there, you reel it back in. You cast it out there, you reel it back in.
Yeah.
Then he finally caught him, big old bass.
Well, I don't know. Maybe watch it. They did Skyfall. They did Skyfall, which all of them agree that is the best James Bond movie ever. So once I heard them say that, I was like, yes, I agree with y'all. It is the best made movie. And what they compared it to was Christopher Nolan. Right at that time period, Christopher Nolan was dominating with the Batman movies. And they were like, God, why is Christopher Nolan the only one that can make these movies with big explosions and real, like, really tearing shit up to make it look as real as possible? What are some other movies
before that he would have done?
Nolan? I think he did the movie Memento, maybe?
I don't know.
You remember the movie Memento? Look it up. Is that
Memento,
I think that's Christopher Nolan.
Memento, that he, like, leaves himself, like, pictures and shit, and he goes back, right?
You can read the thing when you pull it up. I don't want to speak out of turn. I saw it a long time ago, but I think it was him.
All right, you can keep going.
It was Christopher Nolan, yeah. But it says a man with short-term memory loss attempts to track down his wife's murderer. So yeah, he uses the pictures to keep remembering what's going on. Guy Pearce, I think, is the main guy.
Inception, Interstellar, Tenet.
But those were after. Those were after Batman.
The Prestige, I love them.
The Prestige was before Batman. Yeah, I forgot that was Christopher Nolan.
Oh yeah, because it's weird because it's Christian
Bale. Yeah.
So like these actors must sign on like 3-year deals.
They definitely do. Well, they do it with a lot of the time they do it with the studios, and then the studios sign on that director to do so many movies, and then once they can kill with that person, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go make some more movies and make a bunch of money with these same people.
Did you go back and watch Batman vs Superman?
I started it, man. It's pretty awful.
What's Christopher Nolan doing?
Well, Christopher Nolan didn't do Batman vs Superman. Thank God.
It says it right here.
No way.
Dawn of Justice.
There's no way that's correct.
It must be.
It's not. It's definitely not. Zack Snyder did it. The same guy who did.
Right.
Zack Snyder. Yeah, that's not Christopher Nolan, dude. That's a garbage ass movie. If Christopher Nolan did it, it would have been watchable at least. It's not watchable, dude. It gets to this point where Batman goes in this like dream sequence. Some of the worst cinematography I've ever seen. I just can't watch it. It's awful. And I really want to like the Jesse Eisenberg kid as Lex Luthor's son. I really want to like him as that character because he sort of has this weird, quirky...
Okay, so I saw like them say the weird noises he makes. It's Seth Zuckerberg from that movie.
Mark Zuckerberg from The Social Network, yes.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Jesse Eisenberg, the kid from Zombieland. Curly-haired kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zombieland.
I do. I want to buy into his character, and it's so hard to get past the terribleness. And Ben Affleck, sort of at the beginning of the movie, was like, damn, maybe they are right. Maybe he is the best Bruce Wayne. Like, at the beginning, it has me feeling that way. And then it just goes off into this. And I know they're comic book movies, and they're supposed to be like that. But Christopher Nolan almost ruined it. But anyways, Skyfall, they compared to that. I did Major League, which is one of my favorite sports movies of all time.
I love Major League.
One of the best of all time, dude. They talked about that, where, like, Wesley Snipes was apparently a terrible athlete. Like, not, you think he would be, because he was supposed to be, they based all those players off, he was based off like Ricky Henderson. He was supposed to be like the Ricky Henderson of the movie.
Is Willie Mays Hayes a real baseball player?
Mm-mm.
I thought he was a real baseball player.
I think Willie Mays is a real baseball player.
But the guy in Major League is Willie Mays Hayes.
Hayes, that's correct. Yeah, Willie Mays Hayes.
He's so little. I gotta go back and watch that.
So that was Blade. That was Demolition Man. What's his freaking name? Drew a freaking Blade. I was literally
Samuel L. Jackson.
God, you have said that 3 times. Oh my God. What is his freaking name? He got in trouble for freaking tax evasion. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, and then I'm about to blow everyone's mind with some science that's attached to that. Then we're going to go back to the movies.
That's attached to Major League?
Tash, do you keep forgetting these people's names?
Wesley Snipes. Jesus. So like when they all signed on to do the second one, he's like, y'all gonna do that? Because he had already went on to do like Demolition Man and a couple other. The one, what's the movie he's in? Oh man, I wish my dad was here. He would know it for sure.
Blade.
Is it Tommy Lee Jones that's chasing it? He's like a fugitive, and Tommy Lee Jones is like.
Oh, and sometimes I confuse.
And he like it ends. He like gets on a train at the end, and then he like sits down on the train, like gets away from it.
Money Train.
No, I'm about to figure out what it's called by looking at his freaking
Wesley
IMDb
Snipes.
right
Yeah,
here.
pull it up while I do this science, and then you can come back on. So science. So I'm
On
not
what?
trying to say anything right now, but science. So I listened to Armchair Expert, and they had this woman on there named Jennifer Eberhardt, and she's African American. She's black woman. That's what I like to say. They're black.
Yeah.
And she is a Stanford psychologist, and she grew up in an all-black neighborhood till she was 12 years old, and then she moved to like an all-white neighborhood. And she had a hard time remembering all of the white people's names. And she thought that this was strange to her. And at this time, and obviously she explained her whole life to Dak Shepard because it's like an interview with them, you know. But some of the main things that she studies is that face identification of another race over time, it, for some reason, you know, she explained it as like Asian people think all white people look the same. White people think all black people look the same. Black people think all Asian people look the same.
Yeah.
Like that is something that people have stereotyped in a way, but she was like studying that it might actually be true and a significant value. And it made me start to think, well, I get what she's saying, and I'm just saying that because we were stumbling. I'm always stumbling on Morgan Freeman, Samuel Jackson, and I don't think it's because it's black actors. I think it's because I'm always just remembering close enough. Because when I was listening to this in the car,
U.S. Marshals. Couldn't think of it. Tommy Lee Jones, Wesley
US
Snipes.
Marshals.
U.S. Marshals. I knew they were in the same movie. Close enough. Anyways.
Yes. So, it made me think, and I was like, well, when I moved to inner city schools teaching, I still feel like I remembered everybody's names the same.
Yeah.
So what she was saying, I didn't necessarily agree with, but I thought it was still just something that I listened to science-wise that we were just struggling with right there. And then that's really the only thing from that part that we were talking about in the movies, but because I can never remember his name. But Wesley Snipes is so much smaller in Major League.
Yeah. But then he went on to do like a few of those movies, Demolition Man, U.S. Marshals, and then did Blade, and then sort of his career took off. But then he got arrested for tax evasion, all that stuff. Anyways, Charlie Sheen was great in there. Charlie Sheen definitely fizzled the worst, and he aged the worst out of anyone in that movie, though. But I also listened to, I'm just going to sort of go through these quick, but I also listened to Jurassic Park, The Princess Bride, Remember the Titans, The Big Lebowski, and then today I listened to The Shining, Back to the Future, which tied that in for me because I hung that up and I was like, I don't know.
Let's talk about that then in detail about what like the Rewatchables do then, because I still kind of understand, but so like they would start out with this movie. Would they start out with like just?
You want me to play you the beginning of their episode real quick, or no?
I mean, you can if you want. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll sort of show you how they do it.
Are you gonna put the Back to the Future one?
Yeah. So they sort of open. They play the how do I? You use this more than I do. How do I find the ones I've already listened to? Previously
Episodes.
played. Listen now.
Click on their actual thing and then go to like all episodes.
Yes. No.
Pull them up and then go to.
We're idiots.
There you go. Now go to all episodes. He normally watches them.
I do usually watch them. I don't use this.
Do you have it now?
Previously played.
So like, I guess I'm trying to wrap my head around this time period. So was this the same? This came out in 1980. I feel like this came out in 1989, but maybe it was before then.
Does it say it on there?
Back to the
I think
Future.
you're probably pretty close. Late 80s.
Because I feel like it was.
Yeah,
So they go down. So they like would talk about Michael J. Fox.
Rewatchables is brought to you by State Farm. Around here, we love talking about movies that we watch, rewatch, and watch again because just guidance you can count on. It's a wrap.
I'm sorry, guys. Here we go.
You don't just walk into a store and buy plutonium. Back to the Future. Steven Spielberg and Robert Zemeckis bring you Back to the Magic. Are you telling me you built a time machine? DeLorean? Back to the Magic.
Sorry, play the trailer.
Back to the action. Whoa, this is heavy. Back to the past.
review tonight. Check newspapers.
Probably get pulled for that, but so I'll fast forward.
Of the last 40 years. So that rules out a lot. That rules out everything from The Lion King to every Batman to the Avengers, Iron Man. These are just authentic, original idea movies that people made that not only became massively successful movies financially, not only movies that crossed over the pop culture, but movies that have just lived on. So here are my 10. It's a semi-particular...
All right.
So anyways.
So the movie... So I guess...
You need to go listen to one.
I
So
do
you need to go in there and find a movie you love and listen to them break it down.
I guess the guy wrote this... Is there a book that goes along with this? Or did he just... So he just wrote this movie.
So Robert
someone writes a movie.
So he wrote... There was no plan for a second one when he wrote the first one. The first one was written with no plan to the second one. A lot of people remember it saying... because if you watch it now, it says to be continued at the end in the Back to the Future lettering. But that didn't happen until the VHS release, apparently. But Robert Zemeckis wrote this... they had already filmed almost the entire movie with another actor because he was doing Family Ties. Michael J. Fox was doing Family Ties. And the mom on Family Ties was actually pregnant in real life. So he was like carrying the show apparently at the time. And the studio paid them $3 million for them to allow him to come and refilm everything that this guy had. Eric Stoltz was his name, the first guy that...
Eric Stoltz.
He hasn't been in really anything that I can remember since then. He didn't get the role, obviously. Michael J. Fox got it.
So there's like footage out there of this guy dressed like
so,
Marty McFly, but
there's
it's a different guy.
I think it's on Prime. If you got Prime, it's called like Back in Time, and it's a documentary about the making of. It's pretty cool. But yeah, he wrote this story, and then he wrote the second one after. And the second one got like a lot of hate at the beginning, but I think it's more rewatchable than the first one. I like Back to the Future 2 better.
Is that the one where they get the almanac and whatnot?
Sports almanac one. He's got the self-lacing shoes. The
hoverboard.
The crazy looking hat. He's got the hoverboard.
Yeah, that movie's awesome.
That's the best one. That's the most rewatchable one in my opinion. And they sort of say that in this one. They're like, we're gonna almost have to do a Back to the Future 2 because it did get a lot of hate, but like now it's the one you see on TV most often. I see Back to the Future 2 on TV when I had cable more than any of the other ones. Yeah, Biff.
I feel like Biff always, I know it ain't the same person, but Biff always reminds me of Spike.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into it because we could honestly do a whole podcast and I could break down all three of those movies. I love them. I got them on Blu-ray. You can borrow them and watch them to get caught up.
Back to the Future?
Yes. You can borrow them to get caught up. We could literally do a whole podcast on that. But they're great movies. I really like the way they did the Remember the Titans, mainly because they told some of the truths that weren't true in the actual movie. The Big Lebowski is one of my favorite, most rewatchable movies. The Coen Brothers, so I've listened to that one. Twister I also listened to, which was good. Twister's playing at the drive-in up in Franklin.
I love Twister. I wanted to
too.
name my daughter, if I ever had one, Joe.
Yeah.
Who's the actress? Is that
Helen Hunt.
Helen Hunt.
Yeah. Me and my dad talked about her tonight. For some reason.
She's just
or
like
today at
a
work.
soft pretty.
Yeah.
But I feel like she was in a movie that was real scary.
I don't remember. I remember the movie Coach Porter used to. No, What Lies Beneath. That's Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman, my guy, and Harrison Ford. What Lies Beneath is a creepy ass movie.
Is that where he's got her in like the tub?
They live next door, and then like she gets in the tub at one point, and she's taking that thing, and she's like drowning. Her toes start to work to pull the plug.
Ooh, that's scary.
Very scary movie.
He's crazy.
Harrison Ford in that.
I didn't know that was Harrison Ford.
Dude, Harrison Ford was apparently almost cast to play in The Shining. Jack Nicholson's character. I don't know how that would have looked. Robin Williams was also the other one on the list. Like Robin Williams, Jack Nicholson, and Harrison Ford almost played The Shining.
That's weird.
It would have been weird. I think Jack Nicholson had to play it because he did an incredible job.
But the weird thing is, if it would have happened that way, would it have been weird the other way?
Probably not. Also, we heard that Harrison Ford was on the Jurassic Park one. Harrison Ford was supposed to play the main guy on Jurassic Park. I wish I knew that actor's name, and I've messed this up before. He's in Bicentennial Man. I gotta look up his name. But yeah, he was supposed to play that. And if they say if you go back, I haven't watched the first Jurassic Park yet. I need to. But they say if you listen to his lines, they're like lines that were written obviously for Harrison Ford. But Sam Neill, is that his name? Sam Neill.
Because it's like when he turns around and he has those gifs, it's like if that was Harrison Ford, it would be a lot better. He's more handsome.
It would have been different. Obviously, I couldn't see it any other way now. But yeah, aside from that, it's called The Rewatchables. It's a cool podcast. It really is a cool podcast. You should listen to ours first and then maybe listen to theirs after you listen to ours. But
1985.
Oh, it's mid 80s.
Pretty good.
Like mid 80s, right in the middle. Yeah, it's really good for its time. But then like what's crazy is when he pulls up at the end of the second one and the freaking wheels turn sideways and the car flies off. You remember at the end of
the second?
Or I think it's is it at the beginning of the second one when the wheels? It's sort of at the beginning. He shows up. No, it is at the end of the first one. Remember, he's like with his girlfriend. He's just bought the truck and he shows up and he's like, "Where I'm going, we don't need roads." And so they set it up for a second one, but the second one had not been written apparently. You should go watch that Back in Time documentary. It's good. I'll send it to you.
What's the name?
I think it's called Back in Time. Let me look it up while we. You have something next you want to go to from there, and then we'll just bounce back to what I watched UFC this weekend. We can come back to that though.
No, UFC is fun, man.
Well, let me look up this real quick. I think it's called Back in Time.
All right, well, this guy must be UFC. You're obviously more in tune with UFC than me, but I've still been listening to Joe Rogan just because that's like my form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Theo Von's past weekend. I listened to Two Bears in One Game. It's funny. Bert Kreischer is a crazy guy.
Yeah.
But Josh Barnett.
Yeah, I know who he is. UFC fighter. Yes.
Apparently he's a large.
Is he still fighting in the UFC?
I don't think he is. Fights somewhere else.
Oh, he's in. Is he in Bellator now?
Yeah, I think he is. He's in Bellator now.
He's a huge guy. He was UFC champ at one point, I think.
Yeah, he was. But I always try to pull something out because that's what a dabbler does. And something he said was, love being a beginner. I love being a beginner. That's like a dabbler almost, you know. And he said some things on there, and you know what? I don't have time to lift weights, and I've been getting into this breathing and health, and I'm sure I'll get into that sometime tonight.
Yeah.
Because I just know I will. But he did this thing called May swinging, or club swinging, and man, basically it's like an Indian maneuver, and you're holding like bowling pins, and I guess they get heavier weights, and it's like a movement that you're doing. But what I'm thinking is I'd rather have like elongated, healthy, lean.
You remember
muscles.
Al Snow, the wrestler? Al Snow posts videos on his Instagram of him using those. He's like doing this weird stuff with it, like rolling it around his head. Those things look very heavy.
I think you can get them lighter.
Yeah, he's always doing weird stuff. He also always has a hammer and he brings it down to his face.
Jake Shannon is the guy he said to look up. I haven't looked it up.
Jake Shannon.
But yeah, apparently they can get real heavy, and there was some real strong. He was telling stories about these guys who are real strong. They're like, well, I bet y'all can't do this, and people can swing them, but these things are huge caveman punches. It's actually from India. Yeah.
It's like the Great Khali.
Yeah, and I made Emily listen to some tinfoil hat stuff as well, so I'm sure we'll get to that point in the dabble too, where we ask you which way you want to go. But I had her into it, man. She was listening to stuff. She was asking questions. She was having to listen.
So yeah, UFC 251 was.
One more thing, man.
Oh, all right.
Whiskey Bros. We brought them up a couple times. Josh Barnett makes his own whiskey. He puts it in some kind of barrel, and he explained that whole process, and it was interesting to listen to. So. Just something that I was trying to expand my dabble knowledge on. Whenever that happens, bro.
That's cool.
So yeah, so tell me, UFC, you watched?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it got real hyped real quick because they put Jorge Masvidal in the main event, but it was lackluster to me. Not the entire card. There was good fights. Rose Namajunas was a good fight. She won. She's the shaved head chick that was the champ. She's gonna fight for the championship again now. Against the Japanese girl that made that girl's head look like an alien.
They're going to fight?
Rose is going to fight that Chinese girl, Rose Namajunas.
Wow.
I've watched that girl since she was on Ultimate Fighter. She's bad.
I'll be honest, I want you to keep going, but how I saw Rose's eyes, we'll get into this, but that's the first time I've watched Fight Companion.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've listened to it after the fact.
Yeah.
But I was watching it live while they were watching it, on YouTube. It was pretty good. Him, Tony Hinchcliffe, and Joey Diaz were on there this time. It was pretty good.
Well, it would have worked out perfect because we could have just muted my phone. I found a live stream on it. We could have muted my phone and just watched the Fight Companion along with it on my phone. That would have been awesome. That's how we need to do it next time for sure. That'd be awesome.
Yes.
Anyways, So
he
Rose's eyes.
Yeah, I had to just go on Twitter, and like Twitter doesn't show.
For her to
they
be.
don't show like the knockouts. They like show the after effects, so you get
Yeah.
to kind of you don't get to know. But
Oh, did you see her
her
eye that was
eye
jacked
though
up?
was jacked up.
But if you look at the strike counts in the first 2 rounds, like Rose dominated her. But that girl,
Yeah.
the girl she fought is a good fighter, has knocked out Rose before, like slammed Rose on her head and knocked her out for the championship.
Really?
Andrade,
Oh, I think I saw that video.
Jessica Andrade was the champion, or Rose was the champion. That Jessica girl, this was the second time they
slammed
fought.
her, right? And she got knocked out.
Knocked out, correct. But Rose had knocked out that loudmouth woman that
before
got her
that.
head. Rose knocked her out. But anyways, then Peter Yan fought.
Hold on. So that fight was their second fight. Rose now is going to fight the girl that
The
made
Japanese
the other
girl.
girl's head blow up. But
That
Rose,
would be fun
so it
because
was
they both
awesome.
can strike.
On the fight companion, he explained how they would have to like doctor up that. He also said like they have apparently the cut people over there are UFC people. That's not people from their own corner. That is UFC cut people.
Yeah.
And they said they got like they stitch it on the inside and outside, and it's basically like a plastic surgeon people who actually doctor all of them up. But he said it's like this cold piece of metal that somehow like stays freezing. I wish I remember the exact name of it. And they just work that out. God,
That's why if you ever see them
people
after the
are
fights,
tough.
their like faces are brown and shit. Where all that they push all that bruising like goes down in their neck. It always looks awful.
They are tough.
Yeah, but
So I just thought that was
this was a great fight too. Peter Yan, he's I think he's from Russia. What's a real small country in Russia? I wish Derek was here. He would know it. Like he's the first champion from there ever. Like fights out of no, it's like a famous place in Russia. I just can't think of the name of it right now. Look it up, Petryan, and see where he's from. But he fought Jose Aldo, which you know who Jose Aldo is, right?
Yeah,
He's the one that has the scar on his. I mean, he was one of the greatest champions of all time, one of the best UFC
he got that
fighters of all
scar
time.
from like falling on like a skillet or something.
He got
crazy.
pummeled by this guy. They had to stop it, and he laid on the ground in his own puddle of blood for about 45 seconds after the fight was
Joe
over.
was like saying he was going back to leg kicks, and he really liked Aldo what he's doing, but then he got popped, and he said
got pummeled
they were
after
stop
that.
the fight, stop the fight.
They
and
should have stopped the fight. He got pummeled on the ground.
What was this guy's
there
name
was
again?
also a
What
fight.
was the guy's name again?
Peter Petr, however you say that. And his last name is Yan.
All right, I'm looking.
Where's it say he's from?
Peter Yan. Just says Russian.
I can't think of where it's. I can't think of where it's
Dubinka.
from. Dubinka is what it says.
Dubinka, Russia.
I wish I would say. I think he fights out of.
Fighting out of Yekaterinburg.
No, that's not what they said. I don't know. Anyways, who cares?
Doesn't matter.
Then Max Holloway got absolutely screwed. I'm sure you saw that on Twitter. Some of the UFC stuff we follow. He fought Alexander Volkanovski, lost in a decision. Should not have lost.
Another bad one. Joe's
It was
been
a bad
saying
one. They said Dana was
refs are
ready to
just
get these
bad.
guys out of there. Or the judges. The judges are terrible.
They are apparently local
Why are
judges.
ex fighters not the judges? Ex fighters should be the judges. People who have fought in the UFC should be judging these fights, in my opinion.
People who are
because
retired.
People who are retired fighters who have no, people who have gone through a course, they know the fight game. They have no tie to the sport anymore other than they used to fight. They should be the ones judging these fights.
I wish we knew someone who knew like all the ins and outs, because
We do. Well, we don't know, and we're about to be on this podcast.
Oh, good, because
Yeah,
I want
Troy
to
knows
know.
a lot about it.
I want to know like how I get they just decide. Like I know one of those fights was they just bumped him up to fight someone anyways, because even when he lost, that might have been the Aldo fight. I can't remember. Or Jan lost, but they still bumped him up because it was a bad decision. And there's been some weird decisions. So like, what do you mean the people who have retired, they should be the judges? But what does the judge card look like? What scores? What does it look like? How many they were talking about like landed punches? Like I just don't understand how you score a fight. I don't get it.
I don't either, to be honest with you.
Like in
I
wrestling,
think
it's very
if you-
clear,
I
right?
think-
Like in
yeah,
wrestling.
Very clear. There are no judges.
So how do I
There's
get
a
2 points
system.
in wrestling? I get control.
Takedown. Control, yeah.
So I'm saying I don't understand. There's got to be a threshold of you've landed this many punches, so you get a point. Like I don't know how you actually.
I don't
judge
know
it.
how they do either. And what's crazy is Troy, the guy that's on the Whiskey Bros, he has actually like fought 2 times, I'm pretty sure. Like fought in 2 MMA fights.
That's pretty cool.
I swear he has. We'll have to talk to him about it. Anyways, and then the main event was Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal. People were bitching. Kamaru was boring, blah, blah, blah. People have forgotten that Kamaru trained his entire camp for someone else. And then all of a sudden, Masvidal, 9 days before the fight, says, I'll fight him. And that switches all things up, because this is old game-bred Masvidal will knock you out. I mean, he will literally knock you out if you are not careful with that guy.
So you think he's been training this whole time?
He lost 20 pounds in 9 days, Tyler. And it might have been shorter than that. He lost 20 pounds in at least 9 days. Ryan said he thought it was 6, but I think it was 9 days.
How did they do it?
Very dangerously.
So he was dead.
I mean, he was in rough shape, I'm sure.
He took the money.
But he fought the entire fight, Tyler, on 9 days' notice. Imagine if this guy had a full camp against Kamaru Usman. I think it looks like a different fight. He had Bo Nickel from Penn State, who's one of the best collegiate wrestlers of all time, in his camp with him, teaching him wrestling. And, dude, Kamaru Usman, who can usually dominate people on the ground, could not hold him down. Could not. But he kept wrestling him because that's what he's great at, and that's what won him the title again. So he lost. I think Jorge Masvidal will be back. I would really like to see him fight Conor. I think that would be one of the biggest matchups of all time in the UFC. They
Masvidal
both talk a
versus
lot
Conor?
of shit. They both have that swag. Like,
At what weight would they fight?
I think welterweight is where I would like to see him fight.
Yeah, I mean, that would be incredible. They wouldn't even have to be for a belt, I guess, because they don't have the belt.
Well, I don't know where they would fight. Where did he fight though? What weight class was that? I should have wrote that down, man. That's one thing is I'm bad about keeping up with that. I really don't. It's hard enough for me to keep up with the weight classes for the wrestling. I can't keep up with what the UFC is doing. Welterweight, yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, it was a decent night of fights. I laid on my recliner and watched it on my phone. Got on Twitter and typed it in live stream and literally popped up immediately. Got to watch it. If you're listening to this, I did pay the royalties to watch it. Anyways, but I got HBO Max. I'm keeping HBO Max. It's great. Also, I don't know if you had something to go to off UFC. But
Well, UFC 4 apparently is coming out in Jorge Masvidal
and the last style bender.
Adesanya.
Yeah, Israel Adesanya. The last style
they're on
bender.
there. Have you seen the cover?
I've seen the cover and the trailer. Watch the trailer right now.
Me watch this?
Yes.
For a video game?
Dude, so Jorge Masvidal came up in like the backyard fighting scene, and Israel Adesanya came up as a kickboxer. Like, he's a multiple time like world class, world champion kickboxer.
Really?
So they're gonna have where you can fight like in the old school kickboxing style arena, or like in the backyard coming up. They're gonna have like a career mode where you can start in one of those. Really? Yeah, it looks awesome. I will be getting it. I love UFC games. I let Mason borrow mine. I don't know if he's been playing it. I know he's a big Fortniter.
Yeah.
Fights in the street yet, but that was many years ago.
Look at that.
Fighting with people trying to take my head off.
We'll share the link to this also.
He's like inside the... Yeah, I can share the link.
Yeah, he came up like a legit kickboxer type, but he wanted his. He talked about it, and he said he asked them. He's like, "Yeah, I was a kickboxer, but I don't want that boring thing. I want it to be like a mix between Mortal Kombat and what I actually did, and like Street Fighter all into one." So that's sort of what that's gonna look. It's gonna look like a Mortal Kombat arena.
That's what I was thinking. Mortal Kombat.
He did that. He asked them to do that.
Really? This game looks.
He's a huge nerd. He's like a huge anime nerd.
Adesanya
Israel
guy?
Adesanya, yeah. He's awesome. You need to listen to him on Joe. Go back and listen to one of the old ones. Looks decent.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just haven't played video games in so long. I mean,
UFC games are hard, dude. There's so many
There's
buttons.
a lot of, like, is it like combos or is it
Well,
like...
the takedowns are button combinations, but once you're on the ground, it's a lot of joystick movement. Anyways, we can post the link to that if you hadn't seen it yet. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, there's like, I'm sure you have to hit a button and do like takedown, but I bet if you got good at it and played a bunch, you could dominate.
I've had every single one of them. That one looks awesome, though.
Crazy,
Just
man.
saying. Habib. But why would they not put Habib on the cover? Like, Jorge Masvidal has lost like 14 fights in his career. Habib has never lost a single time. He should be on the cover of the game. He's the best fighter in the UFC right now.
Yeah, I know.
It should have been Habib and Israel Adesanya.
Yes, that would be nice. I forget who is about to fight Khabib.
You have to look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Habib
What's my phone?
Nurmagomedov.
It's not. I feel like as I was listening to who it's supposed to be lately, it's not Gaethje.
Maybe he'll
is it?
fight Usman.
Is it Gaethje?
Awesome. Well, his dad just died, so who knows what he's going to do. Who is Khabib fighting next? It's confirmed that the winner of the Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje. So, yeah,
Yes,
Justin
that was
Gaethje.
Gaethje.
Yeah.
Man, I'm coming through right
Nice,
there.
dude. How's it going? I forgot about that.
Getting better, man.
Yeah,
All right. Are you done with UFC?
I am.
Well, it is Dabble number 10, and last time we talked about video games, I don't know if I brought this up. I don't think I did. But on the top of my video games...
You did bring it up.
I did?
Yeah.
I had to label them because I rented them out.
Yeah.
So I just chose to switch it out with number 10, Stone Cold Steve Austin Warzone. Did you play that game?
We did, but we played it on PlayStation.
Pretty sure it was like 2D.
Not very good. We played all of them.
I liked the WrestleMania one that was a black cartridge.
We're going to have a full wrestling dabble, too. No doubt. My dad still has, like, the 90s wrestling figures and some of our wrestling shit. Ron's got a lot of wrestling stuff at his house. We will be doing a wrestling dabble for sure.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is with us.
If you grew up in the South like we did in the 90s, you were more than likely a wrestling fan. I don't know many people that were not watching wrestling coming up. But yeah, that was a fun game. For sure.
You want to do the Nintendo Power?
Oh, you want to do that right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
and see where it takes us.
Yeah, that's fine. So we grabbed a random. Tyler came down and he's like, let's go back to my house, grab a random Nintendo Power, because we didn't do one on the last 2. We haven't done one. Maybe last 3 we haven't done one.
No, I think it was the last 2.
Maybe. But we haven't done one in a couple. So I ended up pulling Disney's Tarzan out.
Yeah.
Which is a game that I actually played. Me and Ron actually played that game when it came out. We played it and beat it. It's weird. I remember weird things. And me and my brother were at my dad's work one day, and he had us set up in like the conference room on one of the big screen TVs in there at his old job, and we played that entire game on. I think it was PlayStation 1. Is that PlayStation 1?
Well, this is probably Super Nintendo. Is the time frame of this magazine? So.
But I think it came out. I think PlayStation 1 was out at that point.
Yeah, I mean PlayStation 1, but I'm saying as far as this magazine.
Oh, it's probably based on the Nintendo version of it.
Yeah, but what was it? Was it like a left to right game, up and down?
No, it was like well, sort of. You had to follow the path. You know, you couldn't like wander, nothing like that. But you went up the tree. Like one of the things was you going up the tree fighting, and it was different kinds of levels. But we played and beat the entire game that day. Yeah.
This thing looks like it's got World League Soccer, PGA European Tour. I remember I used to play a game called Wala Open. Was the golf game I played.
Wala Open.
Yeah, I think
Was
that's
it in Hawaii?
I think it was.
Yeah, it had to be.
It was a lot of fun. I remember Cyber Tiger. I remember that.
Oh, Cyber Tiger. I did too.
Let's
You could play.
flip to
You could
there.
play as the kid tiger. You could play
Let's flip
as
to
like
there.
collegiate tiger, and then pro tiger.
World League Soccer looks terrible.
I'm sure it was.
I mean, they tried though. Look, even the stadiums are like different. It's crazy. Also, yes, if you want to just fast forward 30 seconds at a time through the Nintendo Power, if you're not watching, now's the time.
Yeah. For sure.
So, anyways, dude, it has like all the team stats in here. Like Nintendo Power was pretty legit.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious. There's more Tarzan. I wonder what the poster is. Here's classifieds, all the cheats.
For Tarzan.
No, just for
All
various
different games. I see Castlevania down there, I think.
Paperboy,
that's not
Resident Evil
Castlevania.
2, Ridge Racer. I never played that one. This has Pokemon.
Comic.
Really, right here, they can probably see that pretty good on video.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think they can if they watch on the phone. But yeah, that's a Pokemon comic. I'm trying to find the
Fold out.
yeah.
He's got one.
Family. I don't know. I was actually trying to find Cyber Tiger. God, this brings back so many memories, man. Playing Cyber Tiger, like Helen
did you
Roar.
find the page?
Yeah, we used to play like N64.
See, I had it for PlayStation 1. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have
We had it also. Let me see.
But like you could have like tee-up power-ups. Just look through there, man, because I'm gonna look through this.
Yes, I would always
God,
get the
so
kid.
many memories.
And I was an idiot, dude. I always wanted to be the kid because I was a kid, but he couldn't hit it for nothing. I get beat every time because Ron was smart, play with the Pro Tiger.
I would always use Tiger, man, and I love the T with the wings. Let's see how many I can remember. I bet I can't. T with the wings. I remember you get an eagle and the little eggshell would break open, and it'd like give you an eagle. You could. I feel like it was the first game that had the tap power up.
It has the power ups where you had powers for distance, no bounce, burrow, accuracy, spinner, wind cutter, skipper, tee up, mystery ball.
The game was fun.
Yeah.
You could like eagle holes.
Had different
and do all
modes
kinds
and
of stuff.
yeah.
The courses were animated. It was fun to play. It was a great game.
And now you look in here and there was players you could unlock, which I'm sure we never did. That's awesome.
No. Yeah, that is awesome.
Resident Evil 2 looks terrible. Turok, never played it. Dinosaur video game.
Dude, I played Turok. That makes me think of something we can get out of Nintendo Power. Just let me remind Turok, and that's how we'll transition out.
I'm just sort of scrolling.
It looks like I cut some kind of Pokemon thing out at the end. Sometimes I open up these Nintendo Powers, and there's like cards in there and all kinds of stuff. It's like Nintendo Power Banjo-Kazooie cards.
We got the New Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley Game Boy game.
Oh,
sounds awful.
Played that on my Game Boy Color.
Hunting for Love video game is the name of this.
That's some of the questions. Are there questions on there?
Billy Bob's Hunting and Fishing. Hunting for Love.
Are there questions that they ask on the game? How are you supposed to answer?
I don't think so. What do you mean?
Like, it sounds like it's like a dating game.
No, it's a fishing game, actually.
Dude, there were a couple fishing games I played where the lure goes down and then the fish hooks it and it's just a flat screen.
I have one on Xbox right now that is similar to that. That was free. Yes, it's the Tarzan game right here for sure.
Incredible.
That was awesome. Fun game. Sesame Street. Can't say I ever played it.
Oh, that's like where it ranks them.
I think so. Yeah, it has like the overall. Cyber Tiger got a 6.8 overall. Let's see what Tarzan got.
The game was fun, dude.
Tarzan got an 8.5. Oh, I guess the top ranking always goes on the cover, probably.
Of that.
I haven't paid attention, but...
Me either.
See, N64 was awesome. This was the year of, like, the different colors. Remember the Mac computers came out that year, too? You could get them in all different kinds of colors,
yeah, reminds me of
too.
Miss Norman's computer lab.
Yeah.
Did some things in there I don't regret.
Yeah, please don't say that out loud.
Oh.
Thank you. Pokemon Stadium.
This ain't a Friday night podcast.
Hey, though. Check that out.
What? Oh.
Lakers 34 NBA on NBC. Showtime owned that game. Also, sort of like NBA Jam, but better. It's good. I'm gonna put this over here. Anyways, Turok.
Turok. In Turok, I think you start out with a bow, and we were talking about this guy before.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, just to synthesize across there, he had a guy on there named Aron Snyder.
Yeah, that was him. What's the company he owns? Kook or something? Carifku. It's like a backpack company.
Yeah, it's like a backpack company. And
Sounds like he hunts every day of his entire life.
he goes on like these adventures, and he was saying this one time like he had an infection in his leg, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just keep going." His leg.
He hiked like 8 miles out with a leg that
They
kind
like
of killed him.
Shock.
Well, it wasn't infected. Remember, they ended up being like a spider bite, but it was just it swelled up real bad on him. But what's crazy about him to me is like he doesn't use a compound bow to hunt anymore. He uses a recurve bow, like an American Indian or a Native American would use.
Yeah, he was saying he was in yeah. So like, what is a recurve? Like, you know, I've never shot.
So a compound bow is like what Tyler Myers has. Like it's got
So
all the different.
So the resistance is by the pulleys,
correct, and you can hold it real steady.
And there's a sight
A
system. Right?
recurve bow.
No, but this thing, what you just described, has a sight system,
Yes.
right? So it like tells you 40, 60, 80.
Well, I didn't really say all that, but it's got like these
Flags.
little colored things, little color like markers you line your eye up with.
Where you practice shooting, so you don't. So you can
I
get,
haven't
like,
shot
clears.
one, but like one or two times at Tyler's. But this
Me
guy's
too.
using a recurve bow, which is like a bow. A recurve does have. So Tyler, it's shaped like. Let me see that pin.
This pen?
Yeah, so it's like.
So is there just one string and a stick, but it still has some arc to it? It has like a down, like a horseshoe that's been bent. Yeah, like a heart.
Or no, that should have went this way.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Fucked it up.
Like that though. I know what you're saying, dude.
And this one comes in like
Yeah,
this.
so you have to pull
And
the
then
resistance.
string
on
is
it.
right here. Yeah, and you're literally pulling a bow like that.
Yeah. Okay.
People who are listening probably know what it is, and type it in Google if you don't. He uses a recurve bow to hunt large animals. Talking about bears being like 30 yards from him and craziness. I
Bears
tried to go
charging-
find that video, couldn't find it. Of the bear charging him that he
He
talks
said,
about.
yeah, bears charging him.
I tried
he
to
said,
find
don't
it.
film this. He said they like drop down and get the bear, and the bears charge him, and he's, I guess, pulling it out of a quiver.
So was he on a TV show?
I think he just films all of the things that he was hunting.
Gotcha.
I didn't do
Yeah.
all of that. I think that they just filmed the hunt.
Yeah, I
And
listened
I
to
think
his
he
whole.
did it,
That
like,
was
as
one
a
I listened to
podcast.
every bit of. I'm so interested in those dudes, man. They're crazy. They can survive.
What's crazy is you say things like that, and then boom, it pops up. And I'm gonna bring up at least one later about breath because I brought it up last time, and then like boom, 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 it just hits you right in your face, like you said
Yeah.
earlier. The people running the machine of interest it's like I was talking about breath and like getting healthier, and then bang, that's all I had on my drive down to Florida. But anyway, so his bow, and he would talk about how he would have doctors go ahead and write him like prescriptions and stuff like that, just in case, so he could go. He knew all the people, but they would like fly out, he said, or they would hike out. That's why he has these things, and he described what they would stay in. But bears, elk, shooting them with a bow and arrow. Like when you think of a literal bow and arrow that you shoot like with Boy Scouts, I mean it's nicer than that.
Yeah.
But it's like that. He was talking about how you sneak up on a big animal like that 10 foot away from them.
You have to. If you want to hit him.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. All those people, I'm going to eat.
But he's apparently incredible with
We
it.
need to try to find us some bear.
No, I don't want bear. I'll try some elk, though. That elk Joe cooks up and posts pictures of looks incredible.
It does, but I would like to eat some bear. It
Bear
looks
sounds like
even
it'd be
better.
tough and nasty to me. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, that was a good one. I listened to that entire podcast. I listened to it to the end.
And it made me think that, and then I listened to another guy. He had Hannibal on there, Hannibal Buress. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is when we're talking about video games too. But Joe did a moose call on there, and it sounded like a wild animal.
Yeah. With his mouth?
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure with his mouth. I wasn't watching, but it was obviously, I think he did it with his mouth unless he has like one sitting there on the table or something. But it was pretty cool. And also the Aaron Snyder guy said he called him bears like that sometimes because the bear would
With
like
the
that
moose call.
Yeah, because he would come and eat them and do all kinds of. That was crazy. But also, so Hannibal did something crazy, and I've been trying to think of ways to, pitch video games to Emily and Mason and this, that, and the other. And he said that he paid someone to play for you to make his NBA 2K player better.
Really?
He took a weekend and he got his guy back, and he was incredible, and he could play again.
That's smart. I wonder how much he charged that guy.
I don't know. Because I guess they know how to do the experience
Yeah.
faster than even just paying the money, or they're cheaper than just paying the money, or they just know how to. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I've never heard of such.
I feel like it would take longer than a weekend, man. It takes forever to max up your players.
He was like, they have sweatshops.
Maybe. I don't know what's going on. How they do that. That's crazy. I need to do that. My NBA guy sucks.
Yeah, he said he just paid for it, and he said it was only like $80 or $90.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
He paid for it, and he said,
That'll go towards my new game system.
the weekend. There you go. The whole day. What are you gonna get, the PS5 or the Xbox?
I thought about the PS5, but the more I look at it, like I feel like the Xbox is gonna have the better operating system. So I'm probably gonna
It's
get
just
it
the
again.
game situation as always. Xbox is game.
PlayStation just has awesome exclusive games. That Spider-Man game they got coming out for it looks too good, man.
I think that's on the Just Dabbling.
Looks too good. I think it's gonna be Miles Morales.
Yeah, I think it's on my Just
Mhm.
Just Dabbling, as always. If y'all go on there, we call it out.
But yeah, you said-
Spider-Man right here.
Yeah.
First look at Spider-Man, Miles Morales,
Yeah.
box art.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll like pop it up.
Well, I watched like the little. They like put out gameplay or the trailer for it at least. It's out there somewhere. But I've one thing I did do was I did like the 7-day HBO Max thing, whatever, and then I just ended up keeping it because I would rather have that than Netflix. To be honest with you, it's just got much better options, and all the HBO series are incredible. But I watched Doubt, which you've already said. I did go back and
So
watch
you're
that.
switching HBO with your Netflix account?
No, I'm on Beth's and Netflix. It don't matter. It's not Netflix. I'm just saying I would rather watch HBO than Netflix. If I had to choose, I would pick HBO. I would pick HBO over Disney Plus. Like HBO's where it's at. I've watched at least those 4, and then parts
Which
of
4?
other movies. I've watched this weekend. I watched Joker. Finally, Doubt, Ford vs Ferrari, which was the best of the 4 I watched. That movie was awesome. And I'm not even a car guy. And then I watched Good Boys, which was Seth Rogen's movie with the 3 young kids that are going to a kissing party. And
You watched that? Was it just
we laughed.
terrible?
Me, Drew, and Tyler watched it together. We laughed. It's not the greatest movie you've ever seen, but it was funny. There's some funny parts. Joker was wild, dude. Like the last 20 minutes of Joker is almost exhilarating. I don't know how to explain it. Like makes you almost want to rise up against piece of shit people sometimes. Like God, I see why people are rising up. Like people are pieces of shit sometimes. That guy had some mental issues. Like it blew my mind. Like where it's going. If you haven't seen Joker, spoiler alert, skip forward for a minute. But when you realize that the girl that you thought was like dating him and being nice to him now was not around him, he was thinking that in his brain that this woman
Dude,
was
that
with
got
him the whole
me.
time.
I did not know that she wasn't real.
Woo! It was crazy. Boy, I was bought in at that point.
Did you know that it was not real?
No, had no clue.
It got me.
I was believing.
It was so much
I was
better.
believing everything that Joaquin
I
Phoenix
gotta
was
go back
selling
and
me.
watch it again.
I was believing
because
everything he was selling me.
A Beautiful Mind, you start picking up on it. That I did not have. It just all crashed. His world like crashed right there.
Yeah, and it was crazy. And then he freaking blows De Niro's head right, shoots him right between the eyes on live television. What does he say? You get what you fucking deserve. Is what he says, and I'm sort of like, well, yeah. You should.
Oh,
you should get what you deserve. That's a crazy movie, Joker. But I watched Doubt.
It's a dark movie.
Doubt is a dark movie too. But what's the female actress in it?
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep is unreal in that movie. I'm not a huge Meryl Streep fan per se. I watched it for freaking get it for me.
Jeffrey Day Lewis. I got the 3 names. That's
Jeffrey
right.
Day Lewis.
Oh man. Hold on.
Oh my god. Jeffrey Day Lewis. Not even close.
Well,
I wanted to pull it up because I couldn't remember the other girl's name, but his name is Philip Seymour.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip
Yeah, he's
Seymour
the
Hoffman,
game maker.
Which I also just put another movie on my HBO that has him in it that I'm gonna watch. That looks crazy. Also,
Wow, HBO Max sounds incredible.
it is, but it had Meryl Streep and then Amy Adams was in it. She plays like the little sort of woman that's sort of like Meryl Streep trying to tell her like, no, there's some messed up stuff going on. Like, quit feeding into this stuff that keeps happening.
The
And,
movie
like,
is incredible.
what was really sick about it was like the realness of what was going on, and that in real life what happens is those guys don't get exposed and put in prison. They just get to go to another church and go fondle some other boys somewhere, and like that's what happened to that guy. They're like, he actually got a promotion. Like he got a better at a bigger church. Now he's
I
gonna.
know. Isn't that crazy? So at the end when she's crying, incredible acting in that movie. I think it won like Best Picture. That's why.
Doubt.
It got
was
Best
so
Picture of
good,
the year,
dude.
yes.
Not the type of movie I'd
So
usually
at
watch,
the end
but it
when
was
she's
great.
crying and she's saying she has doubt, do you think she has doubt that he actually did it or doubt that he didn't do it? That's what the crazy.
I think she's doubting her faith.
because she really thinks that he's doing it.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know.
She's doubting her faith.
It is crazy.
It's crazy how they build it, how he's standing up there and everyone's just like completely in tune with what he's saying, and then when he's like, "Hey, goodbyes," everyone's like, "Ah." And then like the little kid's sad that he's leaving because he's manipulated this kid. Like, it's sickening, to be honest with you. Like the realness of it is sickening. That's all I can
It's
say.
so
about that.
suspenseful and dramatic.
It's very
like,
good.
God.
Yeah, Meryl
Dude,
Streep
you
is
watched
incredible.
Some good movies in a row that could weigh on you.
Ford and Ferrari, though, I watched, and it sort of got me out of it. Joker and Doubt back to back, yeah, will weigh on you. They're heavy. Like, those are heavy movies, both of them. But Ford vs. Ferrari, you're not a car guy, I'm not a car guy. You should watch it anyways. Christian Bale and Matt Damon are both incredible.
What
in
is it?
Ford vs. Ferrari. It's about when it's like the creation of Ferrari. You need to watch it. I don't want to explain it. I'm not a car guy, guys.
It's
I
the
don't want to screw it up.
creation of the vehicles?
It's so Roush. You've heard of a Roush Mustang. That is named after a guy who was a driver, Matt Damon's character. You need to go watch the movie, man. I'm gonna butcher it, and I don't want to butcher it. You need to go watch the movie. I'm gonna butcher it. I don't know enough about cars and cars names, and I'm gonna Ford versus Ferrari is what it's called. Ford v Ferrari. It's about them doing the see, I'm gonna screw it up, dude. I don't want to say it. There's like a really long race, and I can't remember what it's called. It's a car race. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read you the IMDb. I'm gonna read you the IMDb synopsis of it real quick, because I will butcher it, man. I'm bad with car names and everything. I'm not a car guy at all. But John Bernthal's in it also, which is the guy that played Punisher on Netflix. This guy right here, you'll know him when you see his face. He's also in the movie, that dude. He's a hard ass. I don't know if you...
Okay, I know who that is.
Punisher on American Car Designer. Shelby, not Roush. Shelby, the creator of the GT. Shelby.
Oh, that makes me think of a movie called Gone in 60 Seconds.
American Car Designer. See, I don't know anything. See, I'm going to screw up all the names. I'm saying Roush because I know his face. Shelby.
I need to go watch the movie. It's a good movie.
American car designer Carroll Shelby and driver Ken Miles battle corporate interference and the laws of physics to build a revolutionary race car for Ford in order to defeat Ferrari at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1966. True story. Those two guys, I didn't care what the story was about because those guys had me bought in. I had watched some good movies with good actors. Then I watched Good Boys and it was not good acting, but it was sort of funny.
I don't think I know that movie either.
What Seth Rogen did is took all these movies he loves and took like these interactions and created scenes out of things that have already happened. There are scenes that are exactly like The Sandlot. There are scenes that are exactly like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There's scenes that are just like all these kinds of movies that have already been made with crude humor coming out of kids' mouths. That's the whole movie.
Oh.
Not great.
Doesn't sound
But I
great.
watched it because it was on there and Seth Rogen did it and I like Seth Rogen. But.
Yeah, he's funny.
But anyways, that's my HBO Max story. I got a bunch of stuff on my list on there I still haven't watched. I wish I had. Oh, I do have my list. Where's my phone? I got HBO Max right here on my phone.
Gone in 60 Seconds, man. That's what I thought of when you said Shelby. You know that movie?
I know it's Nicolas Cage.
Do you know who a female actor is in that movie?
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. I watched it in Mr. Smith's history class at our school. Remember Mr. Smith used to stand right beside, you'd be pissing in the bathroom by yourself. He'd come in there and he'd be standing like, he had like the one lazy eye. He'd like standing right beside you pissing in the bathroom. He's sort of a weird dude. Real good history teacher. He could handwrite his notes on the clear.
I thought that was Mr. Laurent. Oh, no, Mr. Laurent.
This was Mr. Smith. I used to call him Coach Smith. Even though he didn't coach anything, he'd always be working out in the white building too. I wish I could find him. Lamar Smith was his name. I got a yearbook over here. I can probably pull him out and show you. But yeah, my list is Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, which is another Philip Seymour Hoffman movie I'd never heard of. Two brothers in need of quick cash decide to rip off their parents' jewelry store, but things don't go as planned, triggering a series of events that lead to devastating consequences. Sounds like a great Philip Seymour Hoffman movie. I got 12 Monkeys on there, which we've talked about. Bruce Willis, Brad Pitt, It Chapter 2. Game of Thrones I put on there just because I can go back and watch that over. Doctor Sleep, which I have seen, but that's like
Is this your HBO Max?
yeah. But then it's Danny Torrance, grown up. Ewan McGregor plays him, which is Obi-Wan.
Ad Astra, we talked about that.
Ad Astra, I haven't watched. That's one I gotta watch. I got Saving Private Ryan on there because it's great. Ready to Rumble. Speaking of wrestling, WCW funded that movie. I don't know if you've ever watched it. I just need to give you my sign in, so I need to do it. Paul, which I've never seen, also with the Alien. I'd like to see Mr. Nanny with Hulk Hogan, Mars Attacks.
Ooh, I love Mars Attacks.
Yeah, it's got a great cast. It's funny. It ages pretty well. It's funny. Doubt I've already watched. Angus, I don't know if you remember that movie. I had not seen it in a long time. It was like used to come on Fox Family, which was he was like a heavy set football player kid. They like play a prank on him and make him the prom king, but then his friend gives him a video. James Vanderbeek actually plays the quarterback in it, same quarterback from Varsity
What's the name of
Blues.
the movie?
It's called Angus. It's about a big heavy set football player kid. He has a little red-headed. It's the same red-haired kid that was in a bunch of different movies playing the same character. It's a funny movie. I watched it. It's pretty good. But I've got Hobbs and Shaw, Fast and Furious on there that I haven't seen, and then Good Boys, which I've already watched. But I'm telling you, man. I mean, I haven't really got to make my list because I've actually been watching movies. I didn't really have to make a list, but I'm gonna have a big one once I go through there because there's a lot of stuff on there I haven't seen that I want to see.
I know. I want to see them too, and just movies just aren't coming out.
No, but HBO has an incredible selection. I'm telling you. I'll just give you my sign in before you leave. But yeah, that's all my notes. I don't know how long we've even been going. Probably still got plenty of time. Hour 17. Yeah.
Well, we've been going hour 17 already.
Yeah.
So we're starting to have a time warp in here.
That's what it seems.
It is hot in here. All right, dude. You want me to just do some? I'm gonna. You know me. I like to connect
I
things
don't
together.
care what we do. If we're done, we can be done.
No,
if you got
I'll
more,
go
let's
on.
keep going.
Because there was some just interesting things that I think everybody should just know. And I'm a science person, so this was kind of funny. So I'm listening to Joe Rogan. He had a guy on there by the name of James Lindsay. And this guy was like a writer or whatever. I can pull it. I wanted just to stay in my main big notes and not get too much in there. But I do want to kind of say, I did write down some stuff on
Well,
him.
if you got tinfoil hat, it might be a good time for tinfoil hat.
This might go into tinfoil hat a little bit, but this one is just something crazy that I think that everybody should listen to, that I think everybody think was crazy. So, what this guy actually did, and this is what is just ridiculous about this. So, whenever you do a science experiment or you do something like that, you have to write a paper, and that paper goes to like a peer-reviewed journal. Like, you know what I mean by that? Like, it goes to like Men's Health or whatever. It goes to like a journal where these peers review this journal, and they decide if it's good science or they want to feature it in this magazine or in this journal or whatever it is. So what this guy did is he wanted to prove people, he was like a psychologist, he wanted to see that people speak a lingo who run in culture groups and they don't even realize that they're speaking in a lingo. So like certain people talk certain ways and they don't even realize they're talking. So when someone talks that way to them, they're immediately accepted into the group. And what this guy did is he made up papers. Not real science.
Yeah.
Just use the correct format and language that these people who do peer reviews do. So one of the studies that he did was that at dog parks, he observed dog parks for like 1,000 hours or something like that, and it didn't even make sense in that aspect. It had something to do with how dogs pooped and interacted with different races of women. And he just wrote all this down, and it eventually got accepted. And it actually got approved for Article of the Year from this science journal. Wow. And he could not accept it, so he said when they emailed me, I had to tell them, like, this is fake. This is not a real paper. So it's like good people and twist them into something else. So I just thought that was funny, just in terms of science and just what's out there and how sometimes people take things and change it up another way. Like another thing, like master suite. Like that term master suite. In today's age and times, how do you think people want to use that term?
What do you mean? Like master bedroom?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it trying to be used as like, they're trying to like master being a racist, you know.
Yeah, like they're trying to
connotation. They're trying to put a racist connotation on the word master.
Yeah, whereas the master suite was actually introduced in a 1927 Sears catalog, not the master's bedroom in the suite.
Yeah, it's not that it's being called that for a long time at all.
Exactly, it's just
in the grand scheme of things.
It's really just literally a marketing thing from Sears. So it's like just stuff like that I just find interesting as I listen to all this stuff. This is also where Joe Rogan continued to talk about vitamin D, and I actually went and bought my vitamin D.
Well, you didn't need vitamin D. You've been on the daggum beach for 7 days or however long you were gone.
Yeah, but now I'm no longer
on the beach.
On the beach, and I wanted to keep taking vitamin D, and that's going to transition me to someone else. But one more thing that he said in the hoax paper was it had something to do with it was funny. It had to do with Hooters, and it got accepted. Where is it? Oh, submitted papers. One was about masculinity and order women around at Hooters. So by you ordering your food or making them go do things, did that have a psychological effect on your masculinity as a male while you were at Hooters? And this got accepted into some as like a behavior. All fake, just made up like a fiction story being accepted into science papers.
They spew fakeness on CNN and Fox and all them channels all the time. You know what? Someone who I think highly of, I'm not going to say his name just so I don't want to, but someone I think very highly of said to me, I talked to him recently, and he's like, I'll tell you where I'm getting the news. I'm getting my news from, which one's the money channel? CNBC or MSNBC?
MSNBC.
Is that the
or
people that deal with money and?
I think MSNBC maybe.
Whichever one it is, he said because they're dealing with money and they're not gonna fool around and lie and whatnot when it comes to how much money they're making and what's coming in and how it's affecting their money. So I'm listening to what they're saying about the virus and all that type of stuff, and they're telling the truth. The death numbers are down, cases are up, but that's gonna happen anyways. Herd immunity, big believer in it. So I'll get it.
Yeah, no, so I went and bought this vitamin D, but then they transitioned to a tinfoil hat guy, Joe Gold, and he was just on there, and he was talking about how important...
On Joe Rogan?
No, this was on Sam Tripoli, tinfoil hat.
Oh, okay.
He had like a... this guy was on there to talk about science and its Nazi history, but instead he started talking about how it is under thing. Like, he even talked about sunscreen. I almost was like, we don't need to be wearing no sunscreen, because he was like, that topical actually, the sunscreen, think about it. People don't put a lot of sunscreen on their face when they're outside every single day doing something, and melanoma really doesn't start on anybody's face. Yeah. Starts in places where you put your sunscreen. So he was just saying stuff like that. Like I said, I don't believe everything that I hear, but I like listening to it.
Yeah, there's
And
a lot of.
connect it
I mean,
together.
right now we did talk about many conspiracies, especially what's going on right now all over the internet. But I don't want to get into actual talk forever, and it's already almost 10 o'clock. But
No, but like vitamin D, I went and bought some. Like everyone is saying vitamin D, so I'm not getting it. But what was crazy is this is the first person, and then Joe said it as well, is that you should take vitamin K2, which has been totally removed from our diet. Which a lot of things have been removed from our diet, the way that they just make produce now, and where they make us eat like processed food and flour and all of that we don't need to be eating. But this vitamin K2, and what it does, vitamin D allows you to really absorb the calcium and the nutrients that you need for your body to function, as vitamin D does. So if you don't have that, you don't get all the other vitamins and things that you need. But then you can have an override of calcium, and your joints can start being like arthritic or whatever. So this K2 helps move calcium around. And I'm starting to think, told my dad, you need to take vitamin D.
Dean probably does.
He said, I've been taking it for 10 years. I've been taking vitamin D for 10 years. I'm like, that's probably why you have been living so long and haven't got sick. But then I started thinking when I heard this K2 thing, that's why I bet he has trigger finger. He wasn't taking vitamin K2 and wasn't getting in there. That calcium.
Joints are all jacked up.
Yes, I love listening to
I wonder if Dean's been doing the same thing. I need to talk to him. You know, his joints in his hands are all jacked up and whatnot now.
Then he needs to start taking vitamin K2 and ask him if he's been taking vitamin D. I bet he's been taking vitamin D because that's what doctors tell you to do.
He has some sort of autoimmune disease is what they... I mean, he had like a ton of blood taken from him. They ran a ton of blood tests on him because he had some crazy stuff going on with his joints and hands and stuff. But I'll have to talk to him about that for sure. Probably help him. I really wish he was on a CBD regimen. That would really help with the joints too. But, you know.
Yeah, so anyways, so staying on that same thing, he talked about B vitamins, run stuff, but he was connecting it to things like sunlight kills a disease. You even said that earlier. Sunlight gives you vitamin D, which helps you fight the disease. But where are they telling us all to go? Inside, where you don't get any of this stuff that you need. And just the more you listen to it, it just makes sense. But, dang, I feel like I was about to make another connection and I was just going right down my list. Yes, I am. So then, going back to Joe Rogan. So I've been listening to all this, so now I'm connecting it all. Going back to Joe Rogan, he had a environmentalist lawyer on there by the name of Barbara Freese. So remember, we were just talking about, just the science part of it, but what they do is it's called science denial. You create that doubt. And even that guy writing that fake paper just created that doubt for me, to create that doubt for everyone. Yeah. They try to create doubt in science and then use it to their advantage to make as much money as possible. And then when it comes out that, oh crap, it really was bad, they just apologize for it, but they've already moved their power. Yeah, and there were some examples, so I want you to look this up because my phone is dying. So this is a whole other person. We've gone 4 places now on our little frog hop talking about the same thing. So what they do is they create doubt, make the money, and then apologize for it later. So one of these examples...
like baby powder that just happened?
Radium industry in the 1940s. Look up radium jaw. And I'll pop a picture up down here. But radium jaw. So these people used to think that when cancer first started, or even before cancer in the 1940s, there was some just illnesses. They used to treat radium to do toothaches,
Radium jaw or radium necrosis is a historic occupational disease brought on by the ingestion and subsequent absorption of radium into the bones of radium dial painters. It has also affected those consuming radium-laden patent medicines, which is what you were just talking about.
Yes, so what they did is, look at the pictures, bro.
Well, I see them.
These people are alive and stuff. And so they were like just treating everything for radium. Sore throat, drink this radium juice. Do this radium.
The last radium girl died in 2014.
Yeah, so it's like this way of treating medicine. And they made all this money on it, and then the science comes out, and it's like, oh crap, it really is doing this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then she had all these examples, and then, when you're on Joe, you get down tangents, kind of like us, and they didn't finish. But you create the doubt, you make the money. Another example. Slavery is technically an example. We knew that probably wasn't the science part of slavery, and all that probably wasn't the right thing to be doing, but they justified it and they denied it like this wasn't that big of a deal, I guess, at different times. And she just brought that up. But the other one that was crazy was lead in paint and gasoline. They knew lead was sweet. Kids inject it. They actually made lead candy, but it made a really good paint and it was cheap. And so they used lead paint on all those walls, knowing that they just created doubt in science, like, oh, it can't hurt you, oh, and they create all that doubt, and then they just make all their money during that time, and it's like,
asbestos, I think, is probably a good example. Well, Johnson & Johnson just had to sign like $1 billion lawsuit because of their baby powder. They knew it had some sort of carcinogens in it, giving women breast cancer. Johnson & Johnson. So you want me to get into my conspiracy, my tinfoil hat? Because I think I want to go tinfoil hat this time.
All right, man, that's fine.
Unless you had some real good ones.
No, I mean, I got, dude.
Mine sort of runs right down the middle of sort of what we do. So, mine is about the 14 Pixar movies that all take place in the same universe and are intertwined. And this guy, by the name of John Negroni.
John Negroni.
Jonnegroni. And he wrote something called the Pixar Theory. Concludes that every Pixar movie since Toy Story, A Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up, Toy Story 3, Cars 2, Brave, and Monsters University exists within the same universe. Brave explains why animals talk and are motivated like humans. So that was like the...
Brave explains what?
Brave explains why animals talk and are motivated like humans. So that's supposed to be at the start, I believe.
So he's like put them in order, or are we just gonna read?
So I'm gonna sort of just scroll through. I'm gonna read the headline and then we can sort of talk about it. But apparently, the tree sapling in the boot in the movie WALL-E becomes the tree in A Bug's Life that they all live around. The big tree.
What?
That's what it says. You know that plant WALL-E keeps safe until the humans return? Well, this theory suggests that it becomes the tree in A Bug's Life, and the reason we don't see any humans in that film is that Earth is yet to repopulate.
All right, I like this. Let's get biblical with it.
We're watching Carl's journey to Ellie in the afterlife in the movie Up.
Carl's journey to the movie Ellie.
So
what's Ellie?
We're watching Carl's journey to Ellie. Have you never seen the movie Up?
I've seen Up.
Where his wife dies at the beginning?
Yes.
His journey to the falls, where his house is floating to and they're going, is... This theory will make an already sad movie sadder. The theory holds that Carl passes in the beginning of the film, and I guess his house with the balloons and everything is like symbolism of him rising into the sky.
Okay.
And we're watching him being escorted by a tiny angel to Ellie who's waiting for him in the afterlife, which is also theorized that the little boy is their child they lost in the little opening thing where they show them losing a baby.
Wow.
So the theory is that the little boy escorting him is their son escorting his dad to their mom in the afterlife.
In the spiritual world.
Correct.
Of Pixar.
Boo from Monsters, Inc. is The Witch in Brave, which I gotta be honest, I haven't watched all of Brave before because Camden doesn't really like it.
I'm gonna watch it again after this, but what now?
Boo from Monsters, Inc., the little girl, is The Witch in Brave. Boo loves Sully, and when she grew up, she set out to find him. She used those same doors to travel through time, all the way back to the time of Brave, where she discovers the origin of the Will-O-Wisp. The carving of Sully is a big hint that the witch is Boo. Oh, and she's been to the Toy Story Award as well, which explains the Pizza Planet carving. Which apparently in the movie Brave, there's a Sully carving in the witch woman's house, and a Pizza Planet carving in the same house. So.
Wow, I gotta go watch Brave.
Andy's mom is Jesse's original owner.
Andy's mom.
Pixar loves to tie things in, so this theory makes a lot of sense. From the way Andy's mom looks to the hat he wears, a Jesse hat, likely due to his mom's influence, Andy's mom is possibly Emily. So the little girl in 2 that leaves.
That is sick. Andy's
So
mom
I need to read
is
this guy's whole theory. I haven't read the whole theory, but this popped up on Facebook, and I thought it would be pretty cool to read on here.
To read the highlights for sure.
So this is all Pixar movies are about the apocalypse. The After Hours team over at Cracked Posits at Cracked
Position. I don't know.
I don't know what that fucking word means. But anyways. Over at Cracked thinks that all of the Pixar movies take place in the same universe, and they are all driving towards one conclusion. The talking toys, inanimate objects, and other characters send humans away on the ship Axiom from WALL-E because they were sick. On the ship Axiom from WALL-E because they were sick of being toys to humans and then cast aside. When they are allowed to return, WALL-E will roll over them along with WALL-E into the earth. Brace yourself. This fan theory is a bummer. In his quest to hoard gadgets and other things, WALL-E dismantles the other cleaning units because they keep taking his stuff. With all the cleaning bots gone, the earth goes to ruin, and the humans have to be evacuated. That's funny. Nemo is a figment of Marlin's imagination in Finding Nemo. And the
Whose imagination?
His dad, Marlon. Because they all died, and all his siblings and mom dies in the beginning of that too. Typical. But yeah, it's funny.
That's pretty interesting. The Bug's Life one is awesome.
Yeah.
To think about for sure.
It says Toy Story 3 is the story of the incidents in World War II Germany. The theory holds that Andy leaves his toys behind as the Allies did with the Jewish people. Buzz's attic sanctuary is akin to Anne Frank's hiding spot. The incinerator symbolizes the horrors of the ovens of the concentration camps. What in the world? Now that I think about it, it's like, that's sort of crazy. It says it's by and large the evil corporation in Up. Never thought about that. Like
Who
the
is?
people building around the old man's house and thing is saying is by and large the people who take over the world and own everything in Wall-E. So I thought that was just pretty funny. It goes on and on and on and on and on. So this guy has a huge theory, but I just thought those were funny, and I need to read the full thing and see how he ties all those in together. I'm sure it's great.
Wall-E is a great movie, man.
It's one of the best. I wish we would have been able to watch that and do that podcast with those people. That would have been pretty cool.
The Apocalypse podcast. You can find them on our Twitter. I shout them out all the time. All right, man. It's 10 o'clock. So do you want to read a Kobe and then do a couple? I don't have to do this tonight. I've been through my list.
Yeah, I can read Kobe real quick. We haven't done that.
We can do, and then we'll go through just dabbling, and then we'll look back at the beach pool vote, and then we'll be out of here.
All right. Let's see. Kobe Bryant. Did you see that? Oh yeah, we talked about it. Kelly Preston, John Travolta's wife died today.
Yeah, I did see that. I wish I would have done the guess the actress, but I didn't look at her movies. I didn't know if you would know them right away. She wasn't a known actress.
I know she was in the movie Twins. Jerry Maguire, I think she was in also, but I can't think of nothing else. Here we go.
Crazy.
My routine changed over time. My approach didn't. I always tried to train and prepare intelligently, but as I got older, my pre- and post-game routine evolved. When you were younger, you work on explosive things, and as you get older, you focus your shifts to preventative measures. That's all par for the course. The only aspect that can't change, though, is that obsession. You have to enter every activity every single time with the want and need to do the best of your ability. Nah, that's really great advice just for life.
Yeah, no, let me see it again.
Yeah, that's good.
Martin.
But yeah, man, I hate, the one thing I hate about dabbling, during the week is we're not on a strict time limit, but I would like to get at least 6 hours of sleep, which I probably won't get, but that'll be alright. Hopefully we're going to record again before the end of this week. I would like to get Levi on here. Hopefully our next episode, I'm going to reach out to him as soon as we're done here, but yeah,
Damn, dude, you're right, man. You got to enter every single activity that you want to do. Just do the best of your ability.
If you want to be good at it, or whatever you're doing, if you want to feel fulfilled in one way or another after whatever you're choosing to do, then yeah, that's probably the best approach.
It's like love being a beginner, like I said earlier. Yeah. I kind of like that shit, man.
So what we got over here? Do I have two choices?
I mowed my yard today barefoot.
Why?
I guess because I've been barefoot all week at the beach. I like grounding out there. I just feel the
Yeah,
energy,
but
man.
if something ever happened and kicked and took your toe off, you'd regret that.
Yeah, maybe. But my grass ain't got nothing in it to be kicking up.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But no, I don't have to do this one. But the one thing that was crazy about the guy who was talking about breathing. Breathe. I've been consciously doing it. Breathe through your nose, not your mouth. He was like, he did all kinds of crazy stuff, dude. I gotta talk about this, man. So to breathe better, I've been trying to work on my breath, like I said before. Breathing in your nose has the machinery in there to make the oxygen more like acceptable in your lungs. And when you're holding your breath, that feeling of, I gotta take a breath, actually that doesn't come from lack of oxygen, but instead comes from an increase of CO2.
Yeah.
That is what triggers your brain. That's why when you're swimming and you're like, I can't hold my breath anymore, and you start blowing out, you get a little extra time because you're releasing out the carbon dioxide. It's actually the carbon dioxide receptors. And this guy wrote this book, Breath, New Science of a Lost Art. And he went and found these divers, free divers, who can dive like 7 minutes underwater.
Yeah.
And they like practice holding their breath and breathing. But he said that you should breathe in your nose and do 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out every now and then. But like, think about it. When a horse is running, what is it breathing out of?
His nose.
It's nose.
Yeah.
So like this mouth breathing and sleep apnea.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a reason that monkeys have massive nostrils. I'm sure there's a reason for all that. Sort of to bring what you're saying back around to our little movie time. I read a thing this week also that Tom Cruise in one of the Mission Impossibles held his breath for 6 minutes one time in a stunt, which is unreal. That guy's a psychopath.
He probably went through this training. It's like
I'm sure he did. But... Well, there's a pretty cool. It's not Planet Earth, the documentary, but it's like deals with people. I've watched one of them with you before. It's like Planet Earth, but instead of talking about plants and animals, and it talks about different humans. Human Planet is what it's called.
Yeah.
And they have one where those people live on the water, and this guy can literally like walk on the bottom of the sea and spear fishes and can stay under there forever, dude. He's like a fish. It's unreal. He's lived there his entire life.
This guy was
Crazy.
talking about it, and he was just saying, that it's like an art. Like people could just literally live off breathing for a while. Like there's stories of that. It's craziness. But anyways, what was crazy is he plugged his nose, he tapes his mouth shut so he breathes through his nose while he's sleeping. Some crazy stuff, dude. And he, with your nose, it makes the oxygen better. And like I've been trying to be more conscious of it. But he did this thing called holotropic breathing. And supposedly it puts your brain in a state that is very similar or can be compared to taking LSD, they were saying. So it's like a natural way to... And the way he explained it was that you're actually putting so much CO2, and they explained it as getting too much oxygen, but like what I explained to you earlier, makes you feel like your brain must think that you're about to die even though you're not.
Interesting.
So it releases, I guess, a little bit of DMT or something. And he said this one guy turned into a wolf, and then he said it really didn't give him the effect.
Turned into a wolf?
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, very funny. Chuck McGee, if you want to know about holotropic breathing. Just because, man, some people, breathing is an old thing.
Considering there's a virus going around right now that literally affects your breath. Breathing's important.
I'm about to do breathing techniques, and I'm about to go around the pool 2 times.
Like underwater the entire perimeter?
2 times.
Not happening.
2 times. Mark my words, we'll video it.
By the end of the summer? Are we putting it...
By the end of next summer.
The end of next summer. I'm not going to bet on that, because I think you might be able to do that. But...
I'm going to dabble into it.
I will bet on that. $50. Right here on camera. $50 solid. We'll never be able to swim the perimeter of in-ground pool twice.
Dean's in-ground pool. I'm going to be hitting up...
He did hit it once. Very easy one time and then some more. But you're not going 2 times.
$50, and I'm going to be out there training with my bowling pin.
We're going to say August 25th, 2021. You have to do it by then.
$50. Yes.
Thanks for listening.
That's it.
Come back next time. I don't know. Are we done?
Oh, we are done?
Do you have something else?
No, we need to go back to the voting real quick. And do you want to talk about
anybody
the Redskins real quick?
Did anybody vote?
Yeah, you want to talk about the Redskins real quick?
You don't have to unless you want to.
Well, what do you think about the Redskins retiring their name then?
I mean, it don't affect me. I don't like them. So, I think what happened at the end of the day is they're the people who, have their name on the side of their stadium, and all those people pretty much told them, like, guys, Redskins has got to go. Yeah. It's time. Like, it's 2020. Let's start afresh. I've read a few. I read the Red Wolves was, speaking of, you said someone became a wolf a minute ago, but Red Wolves was one of the options.
Red
the
Tails, have you heard that?
Yeah, that's my favorite one. I was going to say that one to the last, but no, you're fine. Washington Warriors was one which looked okay. Mike Berkey, I don't know if you remember him, but I played in a Madden league with him, but he's a big Washington Redskins fan. He posted like all this, I can pull it up real fast. He posted like some of the fan art where people have already like done up jerseys and stuff, and they look pretty cool, to be honest with you. But I like the Red Tails mainly just because of the historical meaning, and no one can complain about that. Like that is, where's Tuskegee? Where is that? Not in Washington, is it?
I don't know where that is, but
I thought that's who it was based off of, the Tuskegee Airmen who rode in the Red Tails.
Like 3 of them were from Washington.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's the link. I think you're right.
I think 3 out of the first 5 pilots were from that area.
Yeah, which would be awesome. I think the Red Tails, they could really do. But
if you really think about it, the Redskins, that team used to be in Buffalo, I'm pretty sure.
I'm honestly not sure.
I think that is their show. They were in Buffalo, so it's like...
But like, that's the... one of the
it's kind of like the Bombers of like Little League Baseball.
But they had that for the Red Tails too, which I thought they could change their helmet pretty easily and look similar. I don't know how to share these with you, but I don't know if anyone cares. You can look them up. They've got them out there. That's Red Wolves. It just had the simple. It had that, keeping the same R, but like making it look like a wolf over the top of it. Which honestly, I don't like the way the Red Wolf sounds, but that emblem right there looks pretty sick. If they just kept the R. I mean, I think they could use that if they wanted to, and I believe this is the Warriors one I saw, yeah. Which looks similar, but that would be there.
That's all right. I like the Red Tails.
Red Tails, I think, is definitely the best option. Personally.
All right, man.
The Red Wolves, they could almost be the Wolf Pack, though. Red and black. That's what they should be.
Just dabbling. We did the Spider-Man.
Do we get any votes on our...
Yeah. I'm going to do that at the end.
Well, this pretty much is the end, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm almost there. Captain America trilogy or the Dark Knight trilogy?
My choice? Yeah. Dark Knight by far.
Alright, we did the Redskins. Watch this. This is burning ammonium dichromate.
Dude, I did not really like Captain America until Infinity War when he came back.
Until Infinity War?
That's when I really started liking it.
This is
what
crazy
is it?
Right here. This is just like a chemical reaction. Watch this. What comes out of this?
It looks like the Gates of Hell. I think I've seen it before.
What's the Gates of Hell? From Stranger Things?
I just mean like if I had done that.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's just crazy. Chemical things do that. So anyways, looks like there were 23 votes while the show was going on.
Okay.
70% beach, 30% pool.
Yeah, I knew I was in the minority when it comes to being a pool beach guy, but
you never know though.
That's what I prefer. The only thing that sucks about it is a lot of time you can't have your own drinks around the pool, so you've always got to Yeti it up and then sneak back to your room, fill your Yeti up again, and then go back to your room, fill your Yeti up again. At the beach, you can just drink, I think.
Well, you can't have it out in the open, but you can have it like in your cooler.
What? You can't have it out in the open?
I mean, you can have it like in a koozie, I think.
Dude, the last time I went to the beach with Dean and them, I drank beer after beer after beer right there on the beach. Maybe they changed that. I don't know. That was 2009, 2010.
Shoo, that's a long time.
I've been to the beach since then. Last time I went to the beach was with my grandparents and them there, and I didn't drink a whole lot on the beach, so I don't remember. But last time I was there and could drink, I did drink heavily. So if they've changed that, that sucks. I would rather just sit in my room and drink on my balcony, it seems.
Well,
did y'all like go out to restaurants and whatnot?
Every night.
Yeah.
No one was there. No wait.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's incredible.
You wear your mask, and then you go there and you sit.
Once you sit at your table, you still have to have your mask on?
Mask off.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. I really want to go to the beach. I don't want to risk Eric having to have surgery on her foot and shit, though, so I don't know what we're going to do.
That's tough, man. Well.
Brought it back around to the beach right here at the end.
Yeah, man.
That's usually how the dabble goes.
Love y'all.
Thanks for listening.
At Dabbling Dads.
Goodbye. No outro music tonight. Play your own.
I might add something at the end.
Yeah, goodbye.